All right, so you guys really wanted to hear more about this one, the Lex Street Massacre. And we get it. It's a heavy one.
It's a really complex case.
Yeah, a lot to unpack, right?
Absolutely.
So today we're going to take a deep dive. We're going to go past those kind of surface level headlines, really try to understand what went so wrong.
Yeah, get to that why.
The why.
The why of it all.
Exactly right. So picture this. It's Philadelphia, December 28th, 2000.
Right around the holidays.
Yeah. And then, boom, 7 people are dead.
Yeah.
Crack house on Lex Street, just brutal. It's actually the worst mass murder in the city's entire history.
It really shook Philadelphia to its core. I mean, just the sheer scale of the violence.
Yeah, and when you first hear about something like this, your brain kind of jumps to conclusions,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
You think, okay, probably drugs.
Classic drug turf war, rival gangs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Seems like the obvious explanation, especially in that neighborhood.
Exactly. Fits the narrative we often hear about, unfortunately, with inner city violence. But here's the thing.
There's a twist.
Yeah, big twist.
Yeah.
It wasn't about drugs at all.
Nope. Believe it or not, it was a car.
A car started all this. I mean, come on.
I know, right? Sounds crazy. Not even some fancy car either. A Chevrolet Corsica. This thing gets traded for a Dodge Intrepid plus some cash.
Okay, wait. So a car swap gone bad.
You got it. Blown clutch, arguments over the deal. Things just spiraled. And before anyone knows it, 7 people are dead because of this dumb car.
It's just mind-blowing how something so, I don't know, ordinary could lead to such extreme violence.
Right. And it makes you wonder, like, what tiny disagreements in our own lives could, potentially blow up like that if we don't handle them right.
It's a scary thought, actually.
It is. So diving into this car deal, we've got to meet the main players. We have the Faruqi brothers, Dawood and Khalid, and then there's Shaheen and Black.
These are the guys who felt cheated on the car deal.
Yep. And they decided to settle things, let's just say, and to understand how they got to that point, to that level of retaliation. It's important to try and understand their mindset. And Shaheen Black, he actually wrote a book about all of this.
The Lex Street Massacre, right?
Yeah.
I mean, bold title choice.
Definitely.
So in the book, he talks about his upbringing, growing up in those rundown Philadelphia projects, really rough environment.
Yeah, it was more than just rough. It was like a breeding ground for a lot of anger and hopelessness.
So you're saying that, like, Black's environment almost kind of prepped him for this violence?
In a way, yeah. I mean, it's not an excuse, obviously, but it helps us understand how he saw the world. Like, Black describes this place where respect for life is just gone, eroded away. Violence was normal, just a part of everyday life.
I could see how someone could grow up thinking that violence is the only answer, the only way to solve a problem, even something as messed up as a used car deal.
Exactly. So let's fast forward now to the night of the massacre itself. It's December 28th, 2000. What do we know about what happened?
Take us there.
So the plan, at least according to Black's account, wasn't originally about killing anyone. It was more about rounding these people up, intimidating them, maybe roughing them up, teaching them a lesson.
Okay, so just bad judgment, but not straight up murder. Then what?
Then something happens that changes everything. Dawood Faruqi's mask falls off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, big problem.
You can imagine the panic.
Pure chaos. Did the victims recognize him? Were they going to tell? It's hard to say for sure.
But everything spiraled from there, right?
Exactly. Suddenly, it's not about a car anymore. It's about survival, covering their tracks. The shooting starts, and 7 people end up dead. Men, women, all caught in the crossfire. We have to remember these were real people with families, with lives, and it was all cut tragically short.
Easy to get lost in the details, the crime itself, but we can't forget the human cost, the ripple effect of that night.
Absolutely.
So what happened after, legally? I mean, what was the fallout?
Well, there were trials, of course. Dawood and Khalid Faruqi, they both got life sentences. Life.
Shaheen Black, he received multiple life terms.
Wow. And the getaway driver, Fanny.
He ended up taking a plea deal, 15 to 30 years.
15 to 30. That's a lot of time, but it's not life.
Right. And that actually raises a big question. Does that feel like justice? I mean, everyone played a role, but the punishments were different.
Yeah, you really have to wonder, what's a life worth? What brings true closure to the families who lost loved ones? It's tough.
It's a question without an easy answer.
This whole thing, from a used car deal to 7 lives lost, it's almost too much to process, Makes you think, could something like this happen anywhere, in any town?
I think that's the most unsettling takeaway from this story. The Lex Street Massacre really exposes how fragile things are. It can be a car deal, a fender bender, who knows, but things escalate, sometimes without warning.
And it's a reminder to, I don't know, maybe check ourselves. How do we handle conflict? How do we treat each other? And what kind of communities are we building where something like this could even be possible? Big questions, no easy answers. Definitely not.
For anyone who's interested in going even deeper into this case, Shaheen Black's book, The Lex Street Massacre, it's out there, it's a difficult read, but it does offer a lot of insight into this whole thing.
It does.
It's a dark story, for sure, but I think there's a lesson in there for all of us.
I agree.
About choices, about consequences, and maybe, hopefully, about finding better ways to deal with conflict before it explodes into something we can't take back.
I think that's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See you later.